ads that we do in StreetText, we add tags so that they automatically go into our database that it's a Raider VGK calendar. So this way I could tag everybody next year and resend them a new calendar. But it's really important to make sure you categorize people or you will get lost.
You're the host.
Hey, do what? We're here. Hey, everyone. Cece Underwood with LabCoats and Marcus Willard with StreetText, bringing you guys another awesome webinar here with Wendy Humphries-Goss about how she generated all these amazing, inexpensive leads into her database.
Yeah, basically what we're going to do here is we're going to start kind of going through a little bit of everything and understand there's so many different angles, so many different ideas. That's not just like a rubber stamp when it comes to lead generation. And oftentimes people are always saying, think outside the box, think outside the box. Well, sometimes the best ideas are inside the box already, and you just didn't know how to apply them properly. Right. So for instance, what we're going to do is we're going to start off by letting Wendy explain a little bit on something that most of us are already doing in real estate, giving out, calendars and magnets and all these things that most of you guys are already doing. But then how do you supercharge this? How do you leverage that to get more of what you want out of it? Right? How do you track the numbers? I don't know how many, sports calendars or magnets or giveaways I've given in my day and had zero trackability, had no idea what the success was other than the odd call that came through from it, which, you don't always necessarily know where they came from. But Wendy, if you don't mind, letting us know a little bit of what you've done, what you're doing with it. And obviously, if you want to share some of the results, then fly at her.
Awesome. Yeah. So I've been doing this for a while with Golden Knights because we have a hockey team. And so now we have Raiders. So I decided to do Raider and Golden Knights. And usually I just send it out to my past clients, my farm, friends and family, drop it off at sports bars, stuff like that, so that I can get on as many refrigerators as possible. That's my goal. And anyway, so this year having StreetText, I was like, I think I'm going to try to run an ad because when you post it on social media and say, who wants one, it kind of ends up a complete disaster because everybody starts posting their address right on your post. So you get like a ton of different addresses and you're trying to keep up and there is no system. And so I thought, okay, well, StreetText already has the forms on the back end. We just have to run the ad, So I just took a picture of the calendar and ran an ad through there. And basically people filled out their name, address, and phone. And when they did that, they'd go to the next page and it would have their home value site to see what their home value is. And they can type their address in there. Most people did not do that, which is totally fine because we have their name, email, and phone number. But we do need their address in order to mail it to them. So we immediately, once we get that information, we send them a text and an email just with some verbiage about thank you for requesting your Raider magnet calendar. If you could send me your address, I'll get yours in the mail ASAP. If you know anyone needing anything about real estate, I'm your girl. Have a great season. Wendy at LV Sweet Homes Realty. So I send that to them. Both ways, because I'm not sure if it'll go to spam. I'm not sure if it's, and the cool thing is that they really want the magnet. So they give you their correct information. A lot of times you go and do online leads and Facebook pulls the wrong information and then they never correct it and you can never get a hold of them. Well, when you give something of value and everybody wants this calendar, they're going to give you the correct stuff because they really want it. So that's the cool thing. And almost everybody that we text and email send us their address. So now we have their email, their phone number, and their address in our database because we tie StreetText to Follow Up Boss. So anyway, so once we do that, we send them the calendar And basically, there's a couple different things that we do, but we pull it up on tax record and see if they are the owner. If they're the owner, we set them up on HomeBot. If they are renters, we set them up on an action plan called Keep in Touch. This way we're on their refrigerator and they're getting information from us.
I'm going to pull us way back for a second here because I think we went right into it. What are we even talking about? Is this Facebook ads we're talking about, or is this lead generation? Logan, why don't you kind of cue us into what we're even talking about? I love the Raiders, but let's go a little bit deeper.
Yeah, the first thing we'll do is Wendy, as long as you're okay with it, what we'll do is I'll share my screen real quick and we'll show what your ad looked like and maybe share some of your results. Are you all right with that?
Yeah, that's fine.
Perfect. So
I know when we started running this ad for the first week and a half, they were like 50 cents a lead, which I don't know, if you run ads, you know that that's a really good deal.
The thing that I like, more than anything is the engagement. And again, it's providing an item of value that these people want, and it's homeowners. And half the battle is getting information. As long as you can get information, the ads themselves are incredibly important. Fantastic. But what becomes important as well is the long-term nurture, the ability to reach out and speak to these individuals on a long-term basis, understanding first and foremost, hey, these are homeowners who live in our area are putting their hands up saying, hey, I want the item of value. Fantastic, right? And you can see all the likes and the shares and the comments, 158 comments, and you've only been running this ad since September the 8th. Now, what this is doing behind the scenes is also something that's incredibly important to understand as well. You're feeding the Facebook algorithm. Facebook algorithm is seeing your page and seeing positive engagement going, people are loving this. So next time you run an ad, there's a slight increase to its performance. There's the possibility that Facebook's going to favor the other things that you're also doing, right? You're using your pixel and letting people engage on your pixel. And next time your pixel is used to try to locate individuals, it's going to start going through. It's not a full retargeting campaign by any stretch. You haven't set that up, but it's certainly going to start pulling some of these similar individuals on an ongoing basis. So, and again, look how easy this is. This is something that most of you guys are probably doing already. You're just not leveraging it properly. So if we go back through now and look at the results of that ad, since we've been running it since September the 7th, $1.07 per click. It's pretty good. We're okay with that. $249 spent, 321 submissions, 300 full submissions. So that's going to be name, number, and email. The one piece of information that's missing is the address, right? So again, like Wendy is saying here, is using the lead ad formula here, you're going to get name, number, and email. Those are the three pieces of information you need. Now, what do they need? Well, they need this calendar. How are they going to get it? Well, we need to continue this conversation. So you're basically saying, look, here's an item of value. I can get it to you. It's not going to cost you anything. However, you need to let me know something. And essentially, I always call this feeding your dogs good dog food, right? Like if you start feeding your dogs bad dog food and treating them poorly, what's going to happen as that dog ages? It's not going to age very well, right? Your relationship with that dog's not going to age very well. Whereas if you're treating it well, much like you should your lead, you're feeding it good dog food, it may not be ready to be a perfect dog, a perfect lead, a perfect client tomorrow. But the next day, if somebody's, let's say, 6 months away from selling their home, I look at it as I have 3 to 4 months to develop a relationship with them, period. So what we're doing here is we're simply starting by identifying homeowners. Do you own a property? Do you live in the Las Vegas area? Fantastic. Well, let me start talking to you. And then again, you're giving them something that's not just about their property. It's about building and developing a relationship. They've asked you for something. They got that thing. Hey, what's next? Now you stack value on top of that. Do you want to know your home's value? Would you like a free local market report? What can I help you with? I'm a real estate professional. Let's get you what you came for. Right? So that's that.
I'm having some really good conversations with them. So a lot of them will reply just from that little blurb that we text and email them. They're just like, oh, well, I am working on my credit. I think I'll be ready to buy next year. And I'm like, oh, okay, well, I have a lender that has a free credit repair program if you need help, and so I would be sending that to them. And then I've had a couple of people be like, oh yeah, I'm going to be retiring. So good thing I have your information. I may need to sell because I'll be moving out of town. And, and just couple people that have second homes, and I'm not sure how I got them because they're out of state, but maybe they're just Raider fans, but they own homes here, so they're thinking about selling. I mean, it's gonna be good. I kind of wish I would have bought a lot more calendars, but that's next year.
Well, Wendy, I'd like to, because a lot of agents, you know, kind of taking a step back on, you've got the ads, the people are connecting, like, how are you starting that conversation? Because I think, you know, people get lost in the sauce, like a little meatball, and they're going, okay, well, now I've got all these people. Did you take the time before this, like after your initial, and say, okay, I'm going to put this in the drip, or was it a one-off? Like, how are you starting those conversations with them?
Right. So, and it can get a little overwhelming. That's why we're tagging everybody that comes in. So on the ads that we do in StreetText, we add tags so that they automatically go into our database that it's a Raider VGK calendar. So this way I could tag everybody next year and resend them a new calendar. But it's really important to make sure you categorize people or you will get lost. We also tag it when we send the calendar, like when it actually goes in the mail, sent Raider calendar, because I have ADD and my phone rings all the time. So I will forget where I'm at. I'll forget if I sent it. I can't go dig through the mailbox. It's locked. So, you know, maybe some people are getting to, but no, if you tag it in there, then that's really good. But when they come in, we're initially sending that text and that email. So that's how we're starting the conversation. And then when they send us their address, that's when they're talking to us. They're like, oh, here's my address. And oh yeah, I'll keep you in mind. Or I have a couple of friends, That's starting the address. And they're not coming in, you know, hundreds at a time, like they would if you were to boost it and 800 people were to put their address on Facebook, which happens. But as they come in, this is what we're doing. And this is how we're kind of keeping track of that. And that's where the system comes in. But yeah, it can get very overwhelming, especially if you let it build up. So we work on it daily right now.
So just letting that system work for you. Get those tags, get it automatically set up. So when it does feed into your CRM, you already know. So if you ever need to go back to those people, let's say next year's Raider season, you've got a whole mess of tags that are like, hey, you guys got this last year. Another engagement piece. I'm sending out another one. Are you still in the same house? How's it going? I love that.
Yeah,
that was
I know.
my question as well, was next year, and this is just my assumption, you're not just going to automatically send them the calendar again, right? You're going to have a quick reach out where you say,
hey,
just
Raider time. Yeah.
Right. Did you still want this? Oh, and by the way, while we're chatting, like exactly like Cece said, right, is the ability to engage these individuals. And again, often overlooked is the importance of the ad just bringing in legitimate information of legitimate homeowners. That's half the battle. And one of the things that, again, we're starting to look at outside the box ideas. And again, I think this one's kind of a bit of both. You're on the borderline of inside and outside on this one, which is great.
Right.
But one thing that I've been starting to toy with a little bit that's had some pretty good reactions is change of life ads, things that aren't related to real estate, but are definitely related to real estate, such as you can go to, develop a partnership with a bridal store of sorts, right? Do you guys have any, bridal magazines that your brochures and pamphlets you give out for free? Well, great. Well, let's co-brand them. Let me print off 500 with my branding and I'll pay for them. You can have them in your store, but then you can also run ads that are change of life, right? You're getting married. Well, what happens when you get married? Oftentimes you're buying a property together, but you're often also selling 2 properties and then buying a third. People who are getting married, for me, oftentimes that's 2, if not 3 transactions. So why wouldn't you want to generate leads of people who are in that moment in their life, right? So you're not running a home, what's my home worth at this time? You're saying, would you like, this 5-page brochure on, bridal, blah, 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 in this such and such area? Fantastic. Just like this, it's so easy to do. You're identifying homeowners who live in a particular area, who in this case, like a sports team, or in this case, they're changing something. Great. You're generating information and you have the ability to follow these people around and drip on them accordingly. Right? Like if I get somebody through my bridal expose kind of ad, am I dripping on them every day? Certainly not. That's not where they need to be, right? But once a month, maybe a quick little check-in. Hey, things have changed. Here's a new offer. Here's a discount at this place, whatever it is. But getting them to talk to me, and I think that's incredibly important. And however you do that is up to you, but you can leverage so many different angles. And this is just one idea, one example that I would suggest, again, in all of my years of selling real estate and at however many calendars I've given away, which is a lot, never once did I even consider putting it to an ad where I'm paying very little bit of, amounts of money, but I'm getting the information into the hands of the right people and giving them another reason to reach back to me. It's just such a great idea.
Can I say something?
Yes.
No.
It's the longest I've never talked before. Thanks, Logan. That was awesome. So, Wendy, your personality, that's number one. That's what makes you unique and different. You know how to make someone like you. And so when we talk about know, like, and trust, that's the ultimate. What I would say is the most important thing that needs to go out is your personality. And you need to have, like, if you're going to be using this Raider and Golden Knight type of ad, have some Raider memorabilia in the background, some Golden Knight stuff. Like, get excited when you get to that camera, and ultimately the first impression you're going to give them, just like you've done in the past. And I'm not, I'm just going to quickly share my screen. This is your home value ad, but it's no different. That's right. If you're going to be getting these 50-cent phone numbers that include the email, that's the automation. That's where it begins. That presentation, that experience, that how you narrate that experience and just come from a place of value, that's going to be the difference. Because not only are you going to get that in the mail, now you can actually do whatever you want with your follow-up boss, your bomb, and do your natural being Wendy and having fun with it. So I would say that's going to be the ticket, because as they get to know you and like you and trust you, already they're getting an amazing experience and a magnet from you for free. And they're going to see your picture, and now they need to get to know you in that process as well. So that's where I would work on that. Just like your drip email has done so well with your home value ads that you do with StreetText, do the same type of experience there. And naturally they're going to be like, I want Wendy.
Right. I just posted a link in the chat that is my follow-up video.
Okay,
so
let's
kind
do
of
it.
like you're talking about. I had my Raider shirt on, and and this is what I'm sending out to people like a week after I send it.
I love it. Let's do it. Ready?
Yeah.
By the way, go Raiders.
Hi there, I'm Wendy with LV Sweet Homes Realty. I just want to make sure you got your Raider calendar magnet okay. And I'm just super excited about this season. They're doing amazing, and I truly love the Raiders. So glad I could get that out to you. You know what else I love? I love helping people buy and sell houses. So if you need me, you have all my contact information on your refrigerator now. Just give me a call and I'd be happy to help. And if you know anybody that wants to buy or sell, I'm here for them too. Thanks so much and have a great day. Bye-bye.
Perfect. So easy. So nice. And you could send that out super, earlier too. That was great. You do it a week later, but right, while it's fresh, while they're going to expect it. Hey, you're going to expect this in the mail. It should be there in the next da-da-da-da, right? That's type of thing too. So you can do a combination of both, but that was perfect.
And keep in mind, a lot of these examples in the video and everything like that's in the PDF that was created for this event as well. So if you're just joining late, we'll go ahead and we'll drop it in again. Otherwise, look up in the chat and see that there is a PDF that's been built for this event that gives a little bit more of this information and kind of keeps it all together. So do make sure that you're checking that out as well.
Yeah, the systems are the most important part. Like getting the calendars made is the easy part. Everything else takes time.
Here's the PDF. So if anybody wants it, reshare that link right now, guys. If you have it, we'll put it, but send me the PDF. That'll walk you through Wendy's entire process. It's awesome. And if for anybody knows Facebook lead generations, particularly in the Las Vegas area, it's not exactly the easiest thing to get full contact submissions. You're competing with a lot of people, not just real estate agents and brokers, but you're competing with every person doing an ad in this space of Facebook and Instagram. I think people forget that we're not just competing against agents, we're competing against entirely the Facebook advertising platform. And that could be like Logan, like you say, Coca-Cola, Pepsi. It could be, you know, small mom and pop shops, as much as any person who wants to get something advertised on Facebook. So what we like to do with StreetText is maximize your click. And if you can find the best click to contact ratio, like Wendy just found with this giveaway, because everybody wants that for free, how do you beat that?
Well, here's the thing, especially in the real estate space, kind of what you just said, Marcus. All right, if our ultimate goal, right, people aren't just coming to the real estate agent's website. It's not enough for us to say, hey, look, I'm an agent. Here's my website, search for homes. Okay, they're on Zillow. We know where they are. So if we're not able to compete in that space, then we've got to get them in our database another way. And so just keeping that same mentality of give the people what they want, we got to go in the back door. So this is, you know, it's just another example of how you can get the data, get them in your database, and then offer value along with your other drip, your other communications. Like, we have to think outside the box at this point, because when they go there, everything else of values on that site. So now we've got to find a way to collect and then send, here's a value. Hey, we can give you a cash offer too. We can do this items. Hey, come to our events. Like, we're building a community, things that they can't do. So they're in, they stay, they don't unsubscribe from us. So I think it's a really great thing to do.
Or if Facebook goes down.
Oh my gosh, right? That wasn't
No, that's too soon.
What do you do?
Too soon. Right. And, you know, the one thing I wanted to quickly, you know, touch on is, again, Cece, I love what you said there with give the people what you want. And now, you know, us here at StreetText, that's essentially what started this whole endeavor for us years ago, is looking at the lack of, you know, a platform to help us build and grow and collaborate and do everything. So again, you know, you can have a great idea like Wendy had, but then you have to go, okay, well, how am I going to build this? Oh, there's these 4 objective types. Which one's going to work best for this angle? Like, now I have to have a click funnel as well. If I'm going to not just do a post, I have to have the ability to capture these leads. Okay, where are those leads going to go? Okay, great. Now I've got these leads. I need to start dripping on them. Do I want to do this and this and this? And again, that's essentially what StreetText does, is we're here to, you know, help collaborate and help everybody come up with ideas, right? Like, I'm sure Wendy would have come up with this and done this on her own anyways. She's an incredibly creative individual, but you know, there's other people who are part of StreetText now that get this ability, and obviously LabCoatAgents as well, which is, you know, the collaboration's fantastic, but the ability again now to take this idea and build it really easily. Like, how long would you say it took you to actually put this together using the StreetText platform, Wendy?
Just that building the ad itself is like 3 minutes. And I think we did like 3 at a time, because we like to see which one does better. Sometimes we'll do 5 at a time, you know, because they're all different. I just take the best one and then I turn the rest off. So that's what I also like. You don't have to sit there and keep building. You just do them all at the same time. Facebook will find the best one and then turn the rest off. But yeah, it's a very simple process. And then, yeah, just as long as you make sure you get those tags in there, so that when they go into your CRM, they're already tagged, because the more you have to do manually, the more you're going to hate it. So I like everything about your guys' automation and automating everything. So, and also you were saying, you know, drip on them every day. I'm not a drip on them every day person at all, but I am a huge fan of remarketing. So, so we get all these StreetText leads that go into our system, and we have like a Y import category for remarketing through YLOPO. And then I also have Chris Harden, Book Me Solid. He takes and remarkets, you know, little ads towards, you know, everybody that's in my database. He's remarketing. And I think that's cool, because if they could start to see more of what I'm doing, then they'll think, hopefully, I need to sell my home with Wendy, because she's everywhere. She's on my refrigerator and on my shopping cart.
And, you know, taking into consideration what happened yesterday, I had so many clients reaching out to me going like, oh my goodness, I can't generate new leads today. What's going on? And my, you know, response back was, hey, what a great opportunity to go after your database. Like, what a great opportunity to say, okay, I'm not worried about leads coming in today, because, hey, Everybody's down though. Like once Facebook goes down, it's not you have been limited, everybody's limited. And it's going to happen sometimes. Sometimes Facebook goes down. Sometimes your ads aren't working on Facebook. It's fine. Things happen. But what you can do is look back at your last week, month, in your case, year or more, and say, okay, I've generated all these leads. Now, what angle did they first come in? So that's where the first thing I like to is again, have whatever your angle was, we can add the tag on it. So 6 months goes by, you go back through and you can filter all the people who were from that particular angle. And then you come up with something that's appropriate for all of them. For me, for instance, I'm a big believer of value stacking. So thinking about, and I use Amazon as an example, right? It might not be the best example, but I went and bought a dartboard. Okay, great. I needed a dartboard. But what I didn't think of at the time was, people who bought a dartboard also bought darts, chalk, a chalkboard, all these items that do relate, but they're not directly related to. So think of that in context of real estate. People who are looking for their home value, what else might they want to know that you haven't considered offering them yet? So now you go back and say, hey, I haven't heard back from you in regards to your request for property valuation. However, not only would I still love to be able to provide that to you, here's something else. Here's another idea. What else can you throw at them?
Like
something
home
like
renovations or.
Absolutely. The 12 tips document. I have this other document I can send you that I think would be valuable that you might need to know. Or one item that, most of my clients want from me is not only to know their home's value, but to be, notified of activity around them. If you want, simply let me know and I'll set you up on an instant notification alert. So, anytime a property like yours within a, 15-mile radius sells or comes online, you'll be the first.
That's a great way too, to have partnerships and collaborations with businesses. If you have an interior designer and she wants, for your database only, hey, for this month, we're giving a 10% off or a free interior design console. If you're thinking of selling your home, here's something of gift, for being subscribed to our newsletter, part of our team, we're going to send this out. If you've got a painter that's giving 20, or $100 off their painting services. Hey, because you're subscribed and you're in our community, you're in our Las Vegas Loves Homes, like this is the value. That's almost where my head goes instead of like more home values. Yes, that's real estate, but where are those collaborations? Where can you build vendor business partnerships that are not only going to bring value to your database, but bring value to a vendor? You think they're going to support you hands down over all the other ones? Absolutely right. We've got coupons. It's with your team. You can really just continue to build on that. So I think that would be cool.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, again, think of if you're not running your own local groups in like Facebook groups in your area, you're also missing out. Exactly like you're saying, CC, the ability, like you get to be the gatekeeper, right? A painter offering, who just moved into the area, wants to join your group. Sure, I like painters. Painters can come in. Construction workers, absolutely. Other realtors, sorry, we already got a realtor in this group. But you don't need to invite everybody. You invite the people who want to be part of it. And so a couple things that I used to do that I think are incredibly valuable, that this might work for others as well, is I had in my neighborhood, there's 5 distinct neighborhoods. Okay, so what I did is in each of those neighborhoods, I curated a list of, let's say, 2 lenders who work in offices from that area, 2 painting companies that will operate primarily in that area, window, construction, anything you can imagine, any business that have office spaces in those areas. And I would do 5 different brochures, one for each of the areas, and obviously the one common in all of the areas, this guy right here, right? But now I would show up and I'd have a brochure of all of these different things, and all these people would offer 10% off this, 15% off that, whatever it was. But the businesses would then house my business card and this brochure specific to that location. And anytime I had a buyer who's interested in a particular area, that was part of my package to them. Anytime I had a seller who was, potentially selling the area, I still gave them that anyways. It's just ways of, again, putting yourself in the same bubble as other local small businesses, because reminding these individuals that, hey, I'm a local small business. I'm here supporting other local small businesses, but that's all I am as well. Right. So the ability to identify yourself as such and do things that way, I think is incredibly relevant and important. And then one other thing, and then I'll give it back to you guys, of course, because I'm sure you guys have lots of stuff to share as well. But another thing that you can consider, we're talking about gifting, right? We're saying give away these calendars, give away whatever. I think having the ad will help you track things. But one of the things that often gets overlooked is when you're gifting, and one of the most common gifts are coffee cards. right? Most of us have given away coffee cards, most likely here in Canada, Tim Hortons. In the States, it's going to be Starbucks. It just seems to be what people do. Now, how local small business minded is it to send a conglomerate chain? It's not. So what I did in my own business here that worked incredibly well is I approached a local business, a local one-off mom and shop coffee shop, and I approached the owner, and it took me a couple meetings to convince him that this was, synergistic and good for both of us. But I created a mock-up, and on one side of the coffee card was my information, my face, my brand, everything. Basically, it was one side of my business card. The other side, it was his branding for his company, and there was either a $5 or a $2 little thing on there. Now, sure, somebody could, if they really wanted, recreate these things and make a nightmare for me, but whatever. They were pretty well done and a little bit harder to duplicate. Each one of the coffee cards, however, had a number on them. So I could correlate and understand who got what card and why. So anytime I'd get, let's say, an address only lead, I could send them a coffee card for $2 or $5 value. And the way it worked is when the individual brought in the card, the coffee shop would accept it at face value and hold on to them. So when I would come in once every 30 days, I came in on the same day every month, I would simply pay off what I owed based on what was redeemed. So I'm not paying $1,000 for 500 coffee cards and have no idea if they're being used or not. I would go in, if 30 cards of $2 values were there, hey, they got $60, and I'd usually give them a couple extra bucks for tips and whatever, because why not, right? But I saved a ton of money. But more importantly, every card that I ever sent off had number 15639 went to Wendy at 123 Maple Street with her phone number, email, whatever I had, so that once every so often when I see it was redeemed, I have a reason to check in and call. Hey, I'm just doing my quarterly check-in here and reevaluating my own marketing strategies. This business here is the one that I've chosen to partner with. I just wanted to see what your experience was like, right? And I always got one of two answers. I've lived in this city for 12 years and I didn't even know that place existed. It's so great. You know everything. Wow, it's so wonderful. Or that's my favorite coffee shop. You know everything. It's so great, right? But it's you're always wanting to start that conversation that's not necessarily directly tied to real estate, so that you can build that trustability, that know, like, and trust model, right? So for me, again, it's really important to think outside the box, but have a place to collaborate. And I think the first place is StreetText and LabCoatAgents. That's why we've kind of come together and we've created this partnership, is that anytime somebody has an idea, bring it to the group. Wendy had a fantastic idea and look how well it's working, right?
So Wendy, someone was asking in the chat, how many calendars did you end up buying and sending out? Do you remember?
So I actually ordered 2,000 Golden Knights calendars, because that's who I send to all of my farm and my past clients, because I've always sent that to them. And then I got this for the ad, because not everybody is a Raider fan. And I don't want to send this out to everybody if they don't like the Raiders. You know what I mean? So people that are clicking on the link want the Raiders. You know what I mean? So I only ordered 500 of these.
That's huge.
Yeah. Yeah. So we're almost there. We have like 150 left.
Can you imagine getting 500 new people in your database and their info, and being able to mail that out and follow up with them and have them like it?
I know. And we also ran the Vegas Golden Knights ad. The thing is it's not doing as well as the Raider one, as far as, we're getting more leads for the Raider one, but it seems like the Vegas Golden Knights one, almost everybody are homeowners. So I'm not sure, if I don't know what that means, but I'm willing to pay a little bit more for those, you know what I mean? And make them happy. And, I've already had people thanking me for the home bot report that they're getting. Mm-hmm. So super excited about that. But yeah, so I have about 500 for the Raiders and 500 for Golden Knights to go out for these ads.
That's crazy. Like, when you really think about the cost of the leads, in just our industry, never before has there been more competition, not only from other real estate agents, from iBuyer companies, from out of the tech space, all playing in our industry. There's never been more competition for that. There's never been more competition for ad space, for that mind share. So when you are thinking differently outside the box, you've captured them in a completely different way. Like they know your real estate, but it's not real estate in your face,
Right.
you know, stop being thrown.
It's just real estate on your refrigerator.
That's right. I see you, you see me every day. So I think that's super good just to have that creativity with real estate and to be different, to look at it different, because how many other valuation ads or tell me what your home is worth, or the investors are like, let me throw you a cash offer. I mean, they're all over, you know, in our market in Jacksonville. I can't imagine in Vegas what it looks like.
19,500 of us.
Woo! There you go. 19,000 realtors, even a small percentage. That is some inundated ad space for sure. So
I know.
That.
So gotta be different. Gotta be different.
Right? I mean, and that's the idea, is the home valuation ads still work. They work phenomenally well, but at the same time, why not be different? And then instead of waiting to, you know, capture the lead on the ad itself, you're getting the lead on a you know, more gentle ad, I would say, but then it's the follow-up campaign that really is going to segregate. Now, of those, you know, hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of leads you brought in, are hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of them going to sell their home with you this year? I would assume no. But if you get really, and if you look at the math on this, if you get one of them to sell your home or sell their home with you this year, you're gonna, what, 15 times your return minimum, right?
And that's like last year, I did my farm and I ended up getting about 6 sales out of just walking my farm and putting them on the doors. 6 sales from calendars. You know, so you know, it's nothing huge, but you know, it's a gesture and it's giving value, and you know, people appreciate that. And sometimes you're just in the right place at the right time. And you know, hopefully we'll make a little bit of or make a lot of relationships out of this. So long term.
Yeah. Well, and again, I just love the trackability of it, because again, how I leveraged mine was I had, in the same place I had my little brochures, that's where I'd put my calendars. I'd put stacks of calendars in all of my business partnerships that would allow it. And then I'd go in and check every week or so and be like, oh, they're all still here. Or, hey, they're all gone. Great. I'll put more on there. But then when people would call me randomly, then it's that awkward conversation of like, where did you see me? Like, where did, you know, I don't want to ask that. I just want to help them with their problems. I don't want to add validity to my marketing strategies on that call with them. I simply want to know, you know, but it's, you need to be able to track it. So this way, I think you're giving them what they want, but you're getting what you want. You're getting their information. You can track every dollar that's being spent. And again, one sale comes from this, and the windfall is enormous. So it's so
right.
So much more affordable than, you know, pay-per-click and Google ads and stuff. Like those are all great things. You talked about the retargeting and remarketing to your database. Like once they're in there, you're just like, I'm still here every day. You know,
sorry, I'm in your feed again. Hey. And then we also put this inside. I don't know if you could see that. It's in the PDF, but you know, if I'm gonna spend a stamp, you know, to mail a calendar, I want to send something. So we just have a seller tip, buyer tip thing from me with my information on it. So that way they can know that, you know, what I'm all about.
Yeah, it's awesome. And we are getting wrapping up here in just a couple short minutes. So if anybody has any questions for Cece, for Wendy, for myself, please do go ahead and ask. This is kind of what we're here for, is we want to provide, you know, everybody who's come here, whatever it is you're looking for. And, you know, with the three of us here, I'm sure we can answer a lot of interesting questions, whether, you know, Facebook algorithm or, you know, marketing or conversion opportunities. These two ladies, I'm sure, can shed some light on anything that you guys are looking for. So we will have a couple minutes here left. So if anybody has any questions, go ahead, feel free to put it in the chat, or just let us know kind of what's going on. And we'd love to be able to help.
Yeah, it's good to see the, you know, the versatility of StreetText. You know, even though it is promoted, it's a great place for home value, for buyer capture leads. This is a full database capture community. So I just love that everyone that uses StreetText, we all share in this. to get these ideas from the initial ad to the photos. There's people posting maps and kind of their own take on what their StreetText ad and the photos look like, or testing through, you know, Wendy just said she might have 5 going out at a time to test to make sure she's getting the absolute best one that is bringing in the most leads for the lowest cost. And I think that's really important.
Yeah, I love StreetText just because I usually just run my business off of SOI and repeat referral, because you know, when you're in the business so long, that's what your business turns into eventually, which is amazing. But I did want to step up my game a couple years ago, and I met these guys, and we have masterminds every Wednesday, which blow my mind because I'm always learning something. And just when you think you might know almost everything, you don't know anything, and you learn and grow. And yeah, it's a lot of work, you know, but if you have the right systems, it definitely pays off. So
we did have one question. Wendy, approximately how much does it cost you to send one of these magnets? So if you don't want to maybe break down your costs a little bit, maybe let's go through real quick. You ordered a ton of them, so obviously you saved a little bit of money on there, but what would you say is your average cost per magnet? And then to ship it to your local market, you know, is it just one stamp, just one normal?
Yeah, so I was doing just one stamp, but I decided to get a Pitney Bowes machine this year just because we do a lot of mailings. And when you have Pitney Bowes, it knocks off 5 cents for every mailing, which is awesome. And postcards are only 40 cents. So, and I can run through like this many at a time. It just, so like trying to make my life easier. I've licked a lot of envelopes and put a lot of stamps on, a lot of labels, you know, but anyway, trying to make it pretty simple, but I cannot even tell you at all what the average would be. But yeah, it's, yeah, I would have to figure that out. I haven't figured that out. And I probably will, though, when I close my first deal, because I like to see how much things cost and how much I make, and then figure out my ROI. So check back with me next year.
We can add that if ever and we can help you kind of calculate those costs on our end as well a little bit here. And what we can do is we can add that to the PDF so that if anybody's accessing that information, we can share a little bit more. And then, you know, it's the kind of thing, you know, anytime we spotlight people, just know that, you know, they're also improving, they're getting better, things are changing all the time. So check back and we can, you know, and that's the beauty of having, you know, Cece and Wendy is you get a chance to meet them on the masterminds too, right? So come in, you know, join the community, be part of LCA is a great place to be, obviously. Come join StreetText as well. Come and kind of see what we do that's a little bit specific to our angle, our marketing. And anytime, you know, we have a Wendy, we have a Cece, we have somebody who's like, hey, I've got this crazy idea. It's this great place where people love to come in and tell the community. And I always put it this way, you know, again, selling real estate as long as I did, never once, even all my years sitting in the bullpen, you know, it was only 2 years, but still, you know, sitting, never once did I have somebody come in, you know, like excited to share, like, I've got this great, you know, thing for FSBOs or expired listings. I've got this great thing that's working for me here. You guys need to have it. Never, ever, ever once yet. Every Wednesday, every single Wednesday, somebody brings something that they're doing that's new and unique. That's tomorrow's endeavor, something that most of us haven't even thought of doing. And then the beauty of it is that gets into the group starts to work on something and you know, somebody goes, well, I like the idea, but I would do it slightly different. Great, do it different, get better results. And then they bring it back the next Wednesday. Hey, I took Wendy's idea and this is what I did with it. Wendy goes, well, I didn't even think of doing that, and makes her process better. Everybody wins. It's collaboration at its finest. That's what we do.
And Leo asked what mile radius I used for my ad. For most of my ads, I use 30 miles just because that's pretty much all of Las Vegas, Henderson, Boulder City. Sometimes I, you know, go out to 50, but like, I want to make sure I get everybody because we work all over. So I know there's a 15-mile. So if you're only wanting to target your, you know, certain area, then you'll want to go less. But yeah, I like, hey, I want everybody to see it. So.
And something like that, it's not it's not housing related, so you're less restricted.
Wait, what? I think we're
Yeah.
still tagging it as housing
I
related.
can show you how to build the ads on our custom stuff now, Wendy, if you like. You can book with me later today or tomorrow.
Without the housing?
Yeah, we can build it as a
Oh my
as
God.
anything. We can do it as none, which is probably what we do. However, if you keep it under the special housing category, it does find, algorithmically speaking, more housing related individuals. So I think for what you're doing, given its results, I'm a big believer if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Yep.
I'd say you're good there now. However, as to when it pertains to other things, like we talk about change of life and things like that, then we'd probably consider doing something slightly different outside of that spectrum. But for what you're currently doing, it's finding you the people, you're having good conversations with people. Don't change a thing.
I know, that's funny because I when I first did this one, I was like, they're not filling out my home value, link on my page. It's like, this is where I want them to be, because then everything goes into the database. But it actually works out better when I can personally reach out to each of them and ask for their address and let them know, what I'm doing or whatever. Mm-hmm. And then we have a little bit of a conversation instead of full on robot, automation. So, and I was going to do the what's your home really worth and put this picture there. And I was like, no, 50 cents a lead. I think I'll stay. So
super smart. Oh, let's see. Yeah, I don't see any other questions. Is there anything, Wendy, you would kind of leave people with as far as like getting started and, just utilizing the system?
Yeah. So as far as just trying the StreetText trial, that would be awesome because you'll definitely get a feel for what it does. But make sure if you do decide to commit that you customize your funnel and humanize it, because you want everybody to see your face and your smile. And it makes it just so much better when people get emails and texts from actual people instead of robots.
Good stuff.
I'll double down on that real quick. It's just really important to understand ads are ads. We can help anybody find leads, but converting those leads I'll say it's up to you, but it's a team game. Like we help you with the ideas and the mechanisms and everything like that, but your name, your face, you are your brand, and how you get that in front of people as quick as you can with a nice, gentle approach. That's again, something we can teach, and we have the mechanisms to help with that, but these leads don't convert themselves. And I don't care what ad they came from. You can have the best ad, the worst ad. The leads are never going to convert themselves. You need to lean into this and be sure that you have an appropriate way of providing, personability to these individuals. And again, that's one of the nice things that we get to help people understand. Cece, closing arguments. If you got the gavel.
I say there are no bad leads, only bad follow-up. It's your, our lack of follow-up and consistency. And that's the other thing I'll say about, just the StreetText community and LabCoat community is just, she's got a full PDF on her system. It's right there for you. It's truly there for you to tweak, put your logo, copy and paste, put your spin on it, and it's done. So that follow-up, now that's even one more piece of, I don't have to create it. I've got to implement it. And even if you're bringing in on high school people to help, if you can't afford someone to implement it, kind of like moving, you pay someone with beer and pizza, right? Do what you got to do, get people in to help and leverage you kids. It's just such a great community that I encourage you to hop on. There is a 7-day free trial of StreetText if you want it for home value, to build your database, to build your community and be that digital mayor that we're all wanting to take mind share in our community. Let's start there.
Well said. Awesome. Yeah. Thanks everybody. And I'm sure we'll see you guys shortly on the LabCoat, next event, and hopefully we see you guys on the StreetText stuff as well. And I look forward to seeing everybody soon.
Sounds good.
See you tomorrow morning on the mastermind.
Tomorrow morning. All right. Bye guys.
Bye guys. Thanks.
Bye.
No.